So this one, I'm showing you the Department of Statistics of Malaysia. They came out with the current population estimate of Malaysia in 2020, which is last year. Okay, so you can see out of the citizens and non-citizens, altogether we have 32.7 million of people in Malaysia. 32.7, but it's not as much as like China and Japan and Korea and so on. So out of the 32.7 million, the citizens of Malaysia consist of 29.7 million. And then for non-citizens over here, the non-citizen consists of 3 million. Okay, what is the difference between the green and the purple one over here? Actually, it's the growing of the population, meaning from, I think this one most probably it's from 2019 to 2020. So 29.4 plus 3.1 will be 32.5. It doesn't make 32.7. This one makes 32.7. Okay, but I don't know what does it referring to Annual population growth rate. Oh, okay, this one is 2019. They should indicate properly. This one is 2020. It increased by 0.4%. Okay, so 2020 we have this much of citizen and non-citizen. Who are the non-citizens, you know or not? Any idea? For example, the worker that you can see in West Malaysia, there are a lot. For example, the Bangladesh worker, and then those made from Philippines, and those from a lot from our neighbor country. Okay, Indonesia also we have. So now we look at this one. This is the estimates. Estimate, you can see 2020 estimate. This is 2019. This is the population of Malaysia among the ethnic. So you can see the purple one, the Bumiputra, from 69.3 becomes 69.6. The Chinese from 22.8 to 22.6, which is decreasing. Indian 6.9 to 6.8, also decreasing. And others in the light blue color over here, 1%. Okay, 1. So what is the purpose that I show all of this to you? Do you know what is the purpose? Any idea? No idea, Any idea? What is the purpose? The teacher is showing all of this statistic to you, just to let you know the populations of Malaysia is related to what you are going to learn today, the data handling. Okay, we are going to learn chapter 12, the data handling. So you can see this part over here. Okay, from the statistic of Malaysia, this is the pie chart. Have you learned pie chart before?
Yes.
Yes, you learned it in your primary school, so I'm sure you know how to read the data from there. Okay, let us look at the mathematicians here. The name is John Grant. So in ancient times, statistics were used by rulers to gather information about the population during their reign. However, statistics were only recorded in printed form in the 18th century by an English statistician, John Grant. So two other English statisticians who actively contributed to the early development of statistics were Carl Pearson and Ronald Fisher. So you remember this name, John Grant. Okay, I'm going to go through what you are going to learn today. So this is the main topic that you are going to learn, data handling. In this topic, you are going to learn how to collect data and then how the data is categorized. So over here, we know that the data is categorized into categorical and also numerical. Then from there, you are going to learn the data representation. There are many types of data representation. I'll show it to you later on. And lastly, you are going to construct the frequency table. Okay, same thing, we are going to learn how to construct this today. So you look at the data representation later on here that you are going to learn all of this. You are going to learn how to draw pie chart, line graph, dot plot, stem and leaf plot, bar chart, histogram, frequency, polygon. So mainly these three, you are going to get the data from it. And then the other, sorry, not these three, these two only. The other 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you need to learn how to draw, because questions will come out in the exam on how to draw all of this. They will give you data, you need to draw all the given required representation. For example, pie chart, and then you have to draw a pie chart. If they said dot plot, you have to draw a dot plot like this. Don't worry, it is easy. Okay, let us go through the next thing now. So first thing, before you start with data handling over here, you need to know how to collect data. So we can see the 12.1 that you are going to learn is about data collection, organization, and the representation process, and interpretation of data representation. So firstly, how do you generate statistical questions and collect relevant data? To collect relevant data, we must generate statistical question. So you need to know what is a statistical question. Okay, it is an answer. So over here you can see it is a question that can be answered by collecting data, and there will be a variability or diversity in the data. Variability is something like keboleh-ubahan. They are it's not fixed, it changes. Or diversity. Diversity means kepelbagaian in the data related to the question. For example, okay, I make it bigger. For example, here, how tall are the students in class 1 Amanah? Or how tall are the students in class 1 Sapphire, 1 Topaz? So you look at the reason. There is variability in the height of the students from that class. For example, 150 centimeter. 156 centimeter, 164 centimeter, and so on, which means not everybody having the same height, some tall, some shorter. So there is a variability in the height. So this is one of the statistic question whereby you can get the answer in different, you can get different answer from there. Second one, what is the favorite food of the students in class 1 Amanah? So same thing for this question. There is also variability. So for example, student can give the answer like nasi lemak, fried noodles, laksa, and so on. A lot of food. What is your favorite food? Durian. Do you eat durian?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Anybody plant durian at home?
No.
No, Okay. If you plant durian at home, I'm going to buy from you. Okay, we look at the next one here. Is each of the following questions a statistical question? So we need to decide now whether the question is a statistical question or not. How tall is Rosmi? Is it a statistical question?
No.
No, because this is just referring to one person only, right? It doesn't, there's no variability. There's only one answer. So there's no variability, meaning that it's not a statistical question. Okay? And then we look at the second one. Do the students in class 1 Amanah like nasi lemak more than fried noodles? Is it a statistical question?
Yes.
Yes, it is, because we can decide. This student, he might like nasi lemak. This student, he might like fried noodles. So everybody have different likes over there. So we can collect data from there. We have a variability over there, meaning that it is a statistical question. So after generating the statistical question, the next step will be determine the method of data collection. So there are 4 types of data collection that you are going to learn. Can you imagine what types of data collection can you do? Can you imagine? Cannot imagine. Okay, let's look at this communication corner here before we enter into the data collection method. Communication corner generates statistical question and collect data for each of the following in your class. Favorite sports of the students, modes of transport of students to school. So we can't do it now lah. I also don't want to waste the time with you doing this. Previously, I did it in the class, which is easier. We can ask for the favorite sports of all of you. Okay, let's look at the data collection method. So you need to memorize these 4 methods. You just need to memorize. First one, interview. Do you know what is interview? Temu?
Yes.
Temu apa dalam bahasa Melayu?
Temu ramah.
Temu ramah.
Temu ramah.
Temu duga. Okay, so I'm sure you know the situation of the interview, right? For example, they need to find out how the students travel to school, so they interview you one by one. How do you come to school? And then record down. And then the other second person, how do you come to school? And then record down. So this is interview. The second method is survey. So you can see in the survey paper over here, they give question. Survey dalam bahasa Melayu dipanggil apa? Soal?
Borang.
Borang soal seledek
jawab.
kan? Macam yang cikgu sudah post kepada kamu untuk jawab about the perpaduan one. That is also one of it. So what's your favorite TV program? Over here they list down the drama, the sports, cartoons, documentaries, others. So they did the survey. What about you all? What's your favorite TV program during this MCR? Drama. Sports.
Drama.
No cartoons. Cartoons. Any other? Anime. No other? I like the hiburan. The hiburan is not here. The entertainment. Okay, so that is one of it by doing the survey. So we know two already. The first one, interview. The second one, survey. Let's look at the third one. The third one is observation. So you can see what he's doing. He is recording. Okay, doing the counting. So he is counting how many cars pass by through the junction every hour. So he need to record 1, 2, 3, 4. Or maybe he need to calculate how many bus or how many lorries. So he is doing the observation. Or sometimes if your teacher give you a task, how many red car on the road it will pass by within 1 hour. So you have to calculate how many numbers of red car. You calculate how many colors of blue car, for example, you calculate. So that one is observation. Okay. And last one, this one you always do during your science. Experiment. Okay, so you also do experiment to record the temperature of the hot water as it cools down every 5 minutes. This one. So that is one of the way of recording the data or data collection method. So remember these 4 data collection method. First, interview, survey, observation, and the last one, experiment. Sometimes they will give the question in objective. They will give which of the following is not a data collection method. So they will list out everything over here and then they give extra word. Maybe something like anything else. Something like asking question. They simply give a word. So which is not in the data collection method, you cannot use. Okay? So I continue here. Now, after we know the data collection method, we need to classify the data. So you can see for this part over here, data, there are a few types of data. So if you are going to construct frequency table, later on we are going to do this. We are going to construct frequency table. We need to classify our data. So data is categorized into 2 over here, which is categorical and also numerical. So we look at the categorical data. Categorical data, it usually measures characteristic and it cannot be measured numerically but can be described. For example, the gender of a person, colors of cars, flavors of sweets, blood groups, color of your hair, color of the eye, the iris, okay, and what else? Categorical data. Can you think of any other categorical data? The types of your hair. Pardon?
Ethnicity.
Again, I can't hear clearly.
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. You mean ethnicity? What is it? Ethnicity. Can you type down? Let me see. I can't hear your word clearly. Can you type down? What's wrong with diagnosis? Oh, your line problem. You can't hear me. Okay, pity. Race. Okay, race. Types of race, right? Oh, ethnic. Yes, Malay, Iban, Melayu. Yes, correct. Height of building. Height of building will be categorized as numerical data. Okay, Habib. So we will see what is a categorical data. Later on, you give me example. So this part over here, numerical, measures quantity. And then measures numerically, for example, the number of books read in a week, the height of the badminton players, the time spent on exercise. So you see the time, you also can measure the time, how many seconds, how many minutes, how many hours. So things that you can measure, it is under numerical data. Things that you classify, for example, just now I said the straight hair, curly hair, this is under categorical data. Okay, so now, do you have any other example of numerical data? You give me example. You can type down. Let us check together what thing is that. If I say the number, height of people, okay, this one is numerical data. Very good. Any more? Number of pen that I have. Number of pen, numerical data. Amount of pocket money, correct, numerical data. Okay, you understand now? So I just let us continue over here. One more is given. Number of tourists, correct, very good. Road distance, yes, correct. All of these are numerical data. IQ, Alicia said IQ. IQ, what do you mean IQ? Okay, the level of IQ that a person on, something like that, is it? The level of IQ of a person. Yes, numerical data. Okay, thank you very much. You know the idea already. So let us continue here. Besides, you categorize it as categorical and numerical over here. So we are going to see the numerical data over here. It consists of these two. Numerical data can be classified as discrete data or continuous data. So let us look at the difference of these two over here. Discrete data is measured in a whole unit. For example, the number of family members is 6 people. So we call it discrete data. Okay, it's a very clear data, discrete. We know the number of it. And then if it is continuous data, it is measured on a continuous scale. For example, the mass of students are 53 kilogram, 56.2 kg, and 66.5 kg. So we have a continuous data. So from here, you can see the number, like decimal number, the data that can be, you can get a decimal number, they are categorized as continuous data. Okay, so we have two here. Numerical, we have discrete and continuous data. Discrete means a whole number. Continuous data, we have a decimal number or a fraction. Okay, now let us look at the example here. Okay, classify the following data as categorical data or numerical data. So everybody let me know. A, the body temperature of each student. So you type down in the chat, let me see your answer. Is it a categorical data or a numerical data? You tell me. The first one here. Categorical or numerical? The body temperature of each student.
Numerical.
Yes, very good. It is numerical data. Okay, so most of you, all of you got it right. And then let us look at the second question here. The number of trees planted in each district. See carefully, the number of trees. Yes, very good. Numerical, because it's already referring to the number. Lastly, the causes of road accidents. What is this data? Causes of accident.
Categorical.
Yes, it is under categorical data. Okay, so you understand how to categorize already. Now we look at the next one here. Among the numerical data above, which is discrete data and which is continuous data. So we refer to the numerical data just now. The numerical data, this one is a numerical data, this one is a numerical data. Okay, For the first one, body temperature of each student. Is it a discrete or a continuous?
Continuous.
Yes, very good. This one is a continuous data. What about the second one? The number of trees?
Discrete.
Yes, very good. Discrete, because we cannot have 1.5 tree. The tree must be a whole piece. If it's 1.5, it's like the tree is not living anymore because you cut down the tree 1.5 already. But it depends on the situation. If they want the tree alive or they want the tree that is already cut down. Okay, so basically this one is a discrete data. If it is planted on the ground, discrete data. Now we look at the next one. So after this, you need to learn how to construct frequency table. So this is the example. The data shows the number of children in each family for 20 families. Meaning that out of these 20 families over here, each family have how many number of children? Some have 2 children, some have none children, maybe they just got married, some have one child only, okay, and so on. So they ask you to organize the data by constructing a frequency table. So we need to construct a frequency table to represent the number of children in each family. Okay, to construct a frequency table, you need 3 columns. So make sure you draw using ruler. Okay, construct 3 columns. So I'm going to start with 3 columns here first. The rest of it later on, I'm going to just draw a line using hand. But make sure you don't follow me using hand. You must use ruler to do that. So this is 1 column. This is 2 column. This is 3 column. Okay, and then we are going to write down the title for each of the column. So I just draw on it. Okay. Now, first thing, because the data shows the number of children, so the first column over here, I'm going to write down to represent the number. It's too thick over here. I need to make it smaller. Okay, the number of children. Okay, the next thing we have to use tally. Do you know what is a tally? Do you know what is a tally, class?
No.
Don't know. Okay, never mind. We go through that later on. And then because we need to construct frequency table, for sure we will have to write down for the frequency. Frequency dalam bahasa Melayu ialah kekerapan. You count the number of times it occur. Okay, so for the number of children, you can see over here the number that we have is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no 5, right? So I'm just going to label from 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I stop here. And then I'm going to count the tally. The tally is like this. For number 0, so I'm going to cut it 1. And I write down like this in the tally part. So another 0, I write down. Another 0, I write down. Another 0, I write down. Okay, so the frequency is 4. Then we look for number 1. Number 1 here, we just make a marking like that. Number 1, another marking. Number 1, another marking. Number 1, another marking. So when it reaches 5, we cannot use a straight line anymore. We need to cross it. It becomes one bundle. Okay, it becomes one bundle like this. So one bundle over here, it means 5. So straight away, we know it's 5. We don't have to calculate anymore. And then for number 2, so we need to calculate number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I make it fast sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By just calculating everything like that. So you don't have to waste time one by one. You jot down the tally. So the frequency is 6. And then number 3, okay, I go back to the method that I show you again. 1, 3, you do a marking. Another 3, you make another marking. One more, one more. So how much is the frequency for number 3? 3, right? 3 children. Last one is 4. So 4, one tally here, and another one. So the frequency for 4 out of the tally here, we know it is 2. Okay, when it is all done, you will have to calculate the total for the frequency. The total of the frequency is down here. You just need to calculate total. It auto-correct now. Okay, total. So I'm going to gather the one which is easier to calculate now. 6 plus 4 is a 10. 5 plus 3, 8. Plus 2, another 10. So altogether, there are 20 children for all of these 20 family. Coincidentally, it's like one family, one children. But because they're already diversified, therefore you can see there are 4 families that have 0 children. And then there are 2 families that have 4 children. So everything is already diversified. So altogether, out of the 20 over here is for 20 families. So that's all on how to construct a frequency table. Are you okay?
Yes.
Yes, huh?
Yeah.